Hi, I'm Suresh Jayaram. I live in Bangalore and I run a space called One Shanti Road. And today we're going to talk about Shanti Road and how it plays a role in the art scene of Bangalore. And we'll also try to see how it is a significant space for artists to stop over, pause, and think about art, creativity, and life in general. So I'd like to say that the location of Shanti Road is quite significant because it is almost centrally located in Bangalore. It's sandwiched between two gardens. One is the Lal Bagh, I've written a book on Lal Bagh, and there's another book coming out. It's about Cubbon Park, and it's very interesting that Shanti Road is in between these places. So, how does one navigate the art scene in Bangalore? The first important thing is that there are some very important artists like K. Venkatappa, and some of you might know that there is a museum which is called Venkatappa Art Gallery, which is in Cubbon Park. It's next to the government museum, which is red oxide in color, very prominent. And there is a small moat, and as you go and enter the moat, you will have a very nice building which has been kind of refurbished. And this is the Venkatappa Art Gallery. It is a very significant place, although many people in Bangalore don't know much about the historical context of K. Venkatappa and his contribution to the art scene of Karnataka. He is one of the first modernists of the art historical context. And later on, we do have other important artists like K. Hebar who are also there in this particular museum. This museum is also a very significant location for artists, especially modern artists, who have uh, done a lot of programs in the city like Kala Melas, their own exhibitions, group shows, etc., which has been the backdrop of the city's art scene. So, with this backdrop, you also have art institutions like you have the Ken School, you have Kala Mandira, and you also have the Chitrakala Parishad, which are the three main art colleges which has produced many artists of our times. As we also look around, we also see the galleries play a very important role in the city, and some of the main galleries have been Sumuka Gallery. There was Ski over here. There's also Time and Space, and a couple of other more galleries. But again, this is also a kind of a scene where it is not very commercial. So Bangalore's art scene is more of alternative art spaces, Shanti Road being one. We also had very important pioneers of the alternative art scene, which is the Bangalore Artist Residency or Bar One. So, Bangalore Artist Residency was a collaboration with Switzerland and Bangalore artists, and it played a significant role in bringing artists from Switzerland to Bangalore and creating a kind of a connection with the European world and what is happening there and with art practice here. So, if you look at the art scene, there was in the 2000s many smaller art groups that have emerged. One of them has been Jaga. So, Jaga was also very close to Shanti Road. Across the road of Double Road, there was also Bar One, which moved in closer. So it formed a kind of a triangulation of sorts where these three art spaces became the most prominent art spaces for younger artists to grow up with. So, other than the conventional art practice of painting, sculpture, printmaking, there was a lot of performance. There was installation, site-specific work. There were also projects done by many artists outside the realms of the gallery space. So this is also fascinating that Bangalore has a kind of an edgy contemporary art scene. So artists like Pushpamala, Sheila Gowda, MS Umesh, and many others have CF John, etc. have contributed to this art scene where most of them have worked outside in landscape. Some of them have curated shows. That Pushpamala curated a show called Sthala Puranagalu. This was a very significant show where artists like Srinivas Prasad, Shamala, and Ramesh Kalpur were part of the show which Pushpa Mala collaborated. Sheila also did a show where she used the landscape to create a kind of artwork. You can also look at the same time MS Umesh's earthwork, which was done in the outskirts of the city using bulldozers, etc., creating a very large kind of a crater and a earth mold, almost primordial in nature. It looked like as if a Sputnik or a extraterrestrial thing landing on in Bangalore. So this is also interesting that these things are temporal; they're not permanent, and artists go there, look at this work, and they experience the whole ambience, and also look at this whole idea of how the artists research, investigate, and use the local material in their artworks. C.F. John did a very fascinating work where in Vistar there was a dry well, and in the dry well he did a collaboration with Tripura Kashyap, Aziz TM, and all of them put together a kind of installation in a dry well, which is also associated with the landscape of the city, where the city had a lot of wells that were very prominent and there were water bodies. But now, once the water bodies have dried, the well became a kind of a stage for performance or installation or other kind of artistic activities. So, as we look around in this art scene, we also see that spaces like Shanti Road also promote the idea of mentoring artists, making space for younger artists to come from different parts from India, where there's an open call. And in this next step residency, we get something like 250 to 300 applications, and we select only 5 artists, unfortunately, because there's only space for 5 or 6 artists to live and work here for a period of 1 month. And this is supported by the trust that Vivan Sundaram had kind of put together, and where it's called the Sundaram Shergill Arts Foundation, and it is consistently supported Next Step Residency for almost 9 or 10 years, and it has a lot of traction in terms of young artists who've just graduated or just done their BFAs or MFAs to come to Bangalore and look at all the different kinds of art scenes uh, that have been part of this cultural and artistic landscape. We should also mention the new spaces that are there in Bangalore. Like there is Kanike Studios, run by Indu Anthony and her friends, and this has become one of the spaces that the artists go to because they learn a lot of alternative photography, and they also see how Kanike survives in independent studio, working together, learning from each other, etc. Another stopover for many of the young artists and for people to know is to visit artist studios. Ravi Kashi, for example, opens a studio for us where we go and see him making paper, not to paint on, but to use it sculpturally to create objects, prints, installations, etc. So this is a kind of a skill that artists learn when they come to the city. So there's another other artists like Archana Hande who work in different mediums, invite the students to go there. Shanta Mani for that example, or Sureka. So these are the many artists who have contributed to the city. In many ways, they also become a kind of a space where the artists from Next Step go there and learn something from them in terms of technique, material, or the way of working in different spaces, or having different ideas about the contemporary world in the city. So artists like Shantamani have worked with the weaving weavers in the city. Also, Archana has been working with objects. She has collected when she has gone out for walks with us, which we call Bangalore mapping. So it is one of the projects of Shanti Road, which had invited artists to come together and look at the city in new perspectives, trying to look at the old and also trying to look at the new and bring it to their own studio in many ways, either it's the material or the concept or ideas. So Bangalore scene is not like the other major art centers. It is very typical. It has a very edgy touch to it. It's also a very experimental, and this is how the contemporary art scene is in Bangalore.